You want paradisiacal beaches, low prices, and friendly people. I have an amazing place for you. While many vacationers opt for Thailand as their entry point to Asia, the Philippines stands as a great contender, and you may be surprised by the quirks of this incredible country. Did you know that the Philippines has more than 7,000 islands with breathtaking landscapes? Did you know that in this country relaxing massages are performed by giant snakes? And finally, did you know that this country has a reputation for being one of the liveliest in the world? But perhaps what you don't know is that, in addition to its beauty, this country has a little-known, dark, and cruel side, which is revealed when the sun goes down. Are you curious? Today we're going to show you its curiosities and peculiarities, as well as a dark side that contrasts with everything you've heard so far. The Philippines, officially the Republic of the Philippines, is located in Southeast Asia, with a territory of 300 square kilometers and formed by an archipelago of 7,641 islands, the largest of which is Luzon. With a population of more than 111 million inhabitants, the majority live in rural areas, with difficulties in accessing basic infrastructures. Agriculture employs about a quarter of the working population, and Filipino wages are often very low, at around less than $2 per day. The country's history is marked by more than 300 years of Spanish colonization. The first contact took place in 1521, with the arrival of the navigator Ferdinand Magellan, but the actual occupation of the country did not begin until 1565. During the Spanish colonial period, the Philippines depended directly on the Viceroy of New Spain, but in 1898, during the Spanish-American War, the defeated Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States. Independence from U.S. rule was not achieved until 1946. Catholicism, unlike that of neighboring nations, predominates in the country, as evidenced by the colorful trucks displaying patron saints, a visible manifestation of the cultural heritage of that historical period. And while we're on the subject of cultural heritage, let's not forget one detail. The country's name doesn't sound like Philip by chance. It is in honor of the then Prince and future King Philip II of Spain, and there are even debates in the country about changing the name. Surnames like Torres, Lopez, and Garcia baptize neighborhoods, cities, and birth certificates. But don't be fooled. Almost no one speaks Spanish there, and the population communicates in more than 160 different dialects. The country's official language is Filipino, derived from Tagalog, and is the most widely spoken language in households, according to the country's census. Filipino has been influenced by Malay, Chinese, and of course, Spanish. Some words do resemble Spanish, such as place, biblia, dentist, and banco, which would be bank. After the administration of the islands passed into the hands of the United States, English became a language widely used and spoken by the population, and now plays a crucial role, making life easier for tourists and being a common language of communication. The Philippines has its own particularities, unique in the region. And this goes beyond religion. Do you want examples? In terms of transportation, jeepneys dominate the streets and are the favorite way for many Filipinos to get around. These vehicles, a kind of adapted bus, allow people to get on in any way possible. Another detail are the super suggestive signs with prohibitions such as "do not urinate in the street." It sounds quite obvious, but in reality they are put up because urinating in public is a big problem in the country. A curious fact is that in Cebu prison, where prisoners dance and train boxing, you can find several viral videos on the internet that will not let me lie. And for those who want to relax, how about a massage? But forget the concept of traditional massage. Here the massage is done with several python snakes slithering over the client's body. The giant snakes that are placed on top of the client can weigh up to 550 kilos together. And in some cases, the snakes' mouths are clamped shut so that they cannot bite or attack, which would be particularly cruel. The diet of the snake masseurs is also carefully prepared. They are fed 10 chickens before being put to perform the procedure. And, believe it or not, it is one of the favorite activities of tourists visiting the country. And while we're on the subject of tourists, let's start sightseeing. But before we get to know some of the most impressive places in this destination, we have to talk about food. Philippine cuisine, although lesser known worldwide compared to its neighbors Japan and Thailand, is a true cultural melting pot, with Spanish, Indian, Chinese, American, and local influences. As in many Asian countries, rice plays a fundamental role in Philippine meals, as it is consumed at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In restaurants, the practice of offering unlimited fillings of rice is very common. For a tasty introduction to the local cuisine, I present to you adobo, considered the national dish of the Philippines. It can be prepared with chicken, pork, or both, in a stew of soy sauce with garlic and vinegar. Aside from adobo, there are other popular dishes like silog and ginatang langka, which is a soup of jackfruit hearts cooked with coconut milk and shrimp. And now we move on to the charming part of the country, which ranges from deserted beaches to busy shopping malls, and I assure you, there is something for everyone. The island of Palawan invites you to discover it, especially with the inescapable attraction of the subway river of Puerto Princesa, one of the places recognized among the 7 wonders of nature. In addition, El Nido and Coron, also in Palawan, are 2 destinations full of unmissable attractions that enrich this region. Impressive lagoons, paradisiacal beaches, ideal places for snorkeling, and magnificent islands make up the extraordinary landscape of this part of the planet. The unique shades of blue and green present in this scenery give it an incomparable beauty, making Palawan a truly unique and memorable destination. Surely you have heard of Boracay, the most famous island in the Philippines. A tropical paradise, surrounded by azure waters and white sand, it has exported the country's image as a destination with some of the best beaches in the world, competing on equal terms with other popular Caribbean and Pacific destinations. Water sports enthusiasts will be blown away by the variety of options for snorkeling, scuba diving, jet skiing, and much more. Another enchanting option is Bohol, especially for nature lovers, with the tarsiers sanctuary. Tarsiers are the smallest primates in the world, with a fragile and cuddly appearance. Weighing less than 200 grams, these adorable animals are always on the hunt for insects. They are said to have inspired Steven Spielberg and George Lucas when they created the characters E.T. and Yoda. At the sanctuary, you can witness these peculiar primates in action, although they often prefer to spend most of the day sleeping, hanging from branches. For those who prefer the luxuries of modern life, the capital, Manila, is home to some of the world's largest shopping malls, as well as the famous historic center of Intramuros, its main attraction, with fortifications, cathedrals, convents, and monasteries. A few hours' drive from the capital are the Pagsanjan Falls, also known as Magdapio Falls. At almost 20 meters high, their size may not impress you, but the walk through the dense forest is definitely worth it. But the Philippines is not all sea and sun. When the sun goes down, the streets come alive with lively markets and the bars fill up. On the islands, the beaches become party spots, attracting tourists and locals alike. However, the real hustle and bustle is in the capital, Manila, known for having one of the best nightlife scenes in all of Asia. The denizens of the big city seem to favor bars and clubs with carnival decor, karaoke, and dance floors that throb until dawn. And Filipinos don't mess around, because there's a party here every day of the week. However, along with all this effervescence, we cannot fail to mention a rather sensitive issue: prostitution. Although illegal and controversial, this practice has sadly become a kind of tourist attraction in the Asian country, giving rise to what is known as sex tourism, with more than 500,000 sex workers working in specific neighborhoods dedicated to this activity. And remember, we were talking about karaoke before? Well, some neighborhoods in the capital offer an alternative version of this type of entertainment, and I assure you, it's not about singing. Another activity that takes on a different flavor as soon as the sun goes down is massage, popularly known as sensual massage, and from the name, there is not much to explain. It is another type of program disguised as a massage. This service is usually offered at specific locations, such as massage parlors or underground spas. The client pays for the massage service, but the end goal is something else. How about a bizarre midget fight? At Ringside, a bar in Manila, every day there are boxing matches starring dwarves, although in theory it is not the aim of the bar. While the fights last, the girls dance and ask to be bought drinks. In the country, even a simple cafe takes on different aspects at night, as is the case of Cafe Havana. During the day, it is a quiet and discreet place in an elegant shopping mall. At first glance, it looks like any other bar. But at night, everything changes. Even with its ordinary appearance, Cafe Havana becomes a meeting place for many women, known as freelancers. The place comes alive with various professionals and foreigners dancing Cuban salsa, creating a lively atmosphere that lasts until the last moments of the night. Have you heard of Ciudad Angeles? Don't be fooled. It has nothing to do with Los Angeles, California in the United States. Or, well, maybe it has a touch of inspiration. Located 50 miles north of the capital, the city was home to Clark Air Force Base, the largest U.S. Air Force base outside its territory, until 1991. The presence of this base brought with it an explosion of brothels and strip bars, making Angeles City a peculiarly popular destination for tourists in search of off-the-beaten-path fun. And today, the city is known as the Philippine Red City. Although prostitution is illegal in the country, it seems that this detail is largely ignored and downplayed. An example that might illustrate this was in 2018, when the country's former president, Rodrigo Duterte, joked going so far as to offer 42 virgins to every foreigner who visits the country. That same year saw an incident at Patrick's on the Beach, a small resort located on the stunning island of Siargao, which became known for its peculiar way of attracting Western tourists looking for a partner. In one of the sections of the website called Romance Filipino Style, there is a section that reads, "Our most experienced guest, a 75-year-old gentleman, found love in Siargao with his lovely 21-year-old companion." And do you know why this reality exists? The sex industry in the Philippines thrives because of loopholes, lack of oversight, and corruption of those who are supposed to oversee it, allowing bars to circumvent the country's anti-gambling laws. In short, a rather grim reality that contrasts with the country's natural wealth. And you, did you know all these peculiarities of the Philippines? Tell us in the comments which one surprised you the most. If you liked this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to receive more curiosities. Thank you very much to all of you who have joined us, and see you next time.